Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been trying to piece together a coherent digital strategy lately, you already know the landscape is shifting at a totally breakneck pace. Today, we're diving straight into the source material on 2026 digital marketing services to help you build a system that actually grows your online presence. We're going to filter out all that noise and build a practical, highly effective growth stack.
So let me ask you something right out of WMX Digital's trend report. Is your marketing feeling harder than it used to? Because honestly, with shifting algorithms, changing search behaviors, and just total AI overwhelm, you are definitely not imagining things. What used to work like clockwork a few years ago is getting buried now. But, and this is key, there's a massive opportunity here for businesses that are actually willing to adapt.
To cut through the chaos, we're going to use a structured building blocks of growth framework to map out exactly how to build your 2026 engine. We'll cover starting with brand strategy, navigating the new SEO landscape, implementing smart AI content creation, mastering social media marketing, and finally, measuring your marketing ROI.
All right, let's jump right into block number one. Start with brand strategy. We absolutely have to begin here because performing random acts of marketing without a real strategy is just a remarkably efficient way to burn through your budget.
To really get this, we're looking at a fantastic guide by Maria Ross called Branding Basics for Small Business. She makes a brilliant point. Creating an irresistible brand isn't just a luxury for massive corporations with bottomless ad budgets. It's for your company. No matter your size, brand clarity is what grabs attention, and brand consistency is what actually makes customers stick around.
She puts it perfectly in the text. Brand is your company's reputation, personality, and reason for being all rolled into one package. When you have that clear strategy, it acts like a compass. It lets you invest your dollars wisely and connect with people on a human level, instead of just wildly chasing whatever marketing trend popped up on your feed today. It's the air cover that makes every other thing you do actually work.
Moving on to building block number two, the new SEO landscape. We're looking at SEO plus geo visibility here and how AI-powered search is totally rewriting the rules of how people find businesses online. The data from WMX Digital reveals a massive shift. Traditional SEO now has to be combined with geo, that's generative engine optimization, if you want to win visibility in both organic maps and AI-generated summaries. With AI search engines like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Google's AI overviews becoming the go-to way people look for services, your business desperately needs consistent localized signals just to get recommended. So how do you actually stay visible when everything is changing? It really comes down to reducing friction. You need to answer real questions clearly, use strong local relevance signals, and keep that Google business profile religiously updated. Doing that earns you incredibly strong engagement signals from both users and Google's evolving algorithms. Basically, make it wildly easy for a potential customer to understand what you do and take that very next step.
Which leads us nicely into block number three, smart AI content creation. We know we need a ton of helpful pages to rank, but how on earth do we produce them without working 80-hour weeks?
According to Marketing Wizard, generative AI is the lifesaver here. Using AI tools can actually slash your first draft production time by 60 to 75%. That is huge. It completely eliminates the absolute grunt work of staring at a blinking cursor on a blank page, turning a 4-hour writing slog into a fraction of the time.
But, and this is a big but, you can't just slap AI on autopilot. You have to use a human plus AI workflow. AI is brilliant at handling the speed and structure side of things, right? Keyword clustering, spinning up content briefs, churning out first drafts. But humans have to step in to inject the genuine experience, original data, and that distinctive brand voice we just talked about. Google is looking for experience and expertise, which is something an AI literally cannot fake.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material. AI produces a floor, not a ceiling. Building something distinctive on top of that floor is your job. Because AI naturally tends to converge on, well, average output, human editing is an absolute non-negotiable step. You've got to protect your brand's unique voice, fact-check the claims, and ensure the content genuinely helps the person reading it. That is the winning formula for 2026.
All right, building on that strong content foundation, let's explore block 4, mastering social media marketing. And we're going to start by looking at building B2B authority over on LinkedIn.
Grow Leads emphasizes that for B2B professionals, having a weak profile creates immediate friction with buyers. So they recommend this exact step-by-step formula to build authority before you even have your first sales conversation. First, your headline needs to call out your exact target audience and the specific problem you solve. Next, use your banner space for positioning and social proof. And finally, your About section should be packed with clarity and hard evidence of your expertise.
Okay, so your profile is dialed in. Now how do you post? Hootsuite's analysis is really interesting here. The 2026 LinkedIn algorithm actively prioritizes genuine expertise, original points of view, and evergreen educational content. It reads for actual meaning now. That means it is heavily punishing cheap engagement bait, like asking people to comment yes below. It's really time to stop chasing viral reach and start treating your social channels as targeted, full-funnel revenue drivers. Post of AI recommends a shift here. Post just 2 to 4 times a week, but make it extremely high quality and entirely focused on your ideal customer profile. Quality and consistency will beat high frequency every single time if your goal is generating real leads rather than just racking up empty vanity metrics.
Now zooming out to broader consumer commerce, data from the Sprout Social Index shows a fascinating split. Facebook is still the heavyweight champ for driving purchases overall at 39%, so it's still highly relevant for ROI. But look at TikTok. It's right on its heels at 36%, and it actually leads the entire pack specifically for Gen Z buyers. Instagram is holding steady at 29%.
And across all of these platforms, there is one undeniable dominant content format: short-form video. A staggering 71% of video marketers say it is their top ROI driver. Why? Because authentic, unpolished, short-form video just performs. Consumers today are demanding a real, human-led presence. They are completely over that stiff, overly produced corporate content. They want to see the real people behind the logo.
Finally, let's bring it all home with block number 5, measuring your marketing ROI. If we're building this integrated stack, we have to prove its value by tracking what actually matters.
While average marketing teams are getting distracted by basic engagement numbers like likes and shares, Sprout Social notes that expert marketers are focusing on advanced tracking tied directly to business outcomes. They're looking at pipeline generation, actual revenue, operational efficiency, and hard conversions. Honestly, if you can't tie your social and content efforts back to these metrics, you're just flying blind.
So, what should your benchmark actually be? Well, across most industries, a 3-to-1 return on investment is considered the standard baseline for social media marketing. Now, keep in mind, this is a value that builds gradually. It compounds as you develop audience trust over time through that consistent, helpful AI-assisted content we talked about earlier.
In circling all the way back to our very first building block, strategy and brand, this next stat is just incredible. LinkedIn's B2B Institute found that prioritizing brand metrics drives significantly more long-term business impact. We're talking 4 times the bottom line impact compared to just running tactical, short-term lead gen campaigns. Your brand is quite literally the multiplier for every other marketing dollar you spent.
So, what's the big takeaway here? The 2026 advantage is entirely about focused integration. When you align your website, your localized SEO, your smart AI content, and your social media around one unified, measurable goal, you finally replace random, chaotic experimentation with a predictable, unstoppable engine of momentum.
I'm going to leave you with that thought to reflect on today. How will you combine genuine human connection with the incredible leverage of AI tools to build your own growth engine in 2026? Take these insights from the source material, put an end to the random acts of marketing, and start constructing your highly effective integrated digital strategy today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.